Welcome back to another edition of the Average Joe News Co. Today we'll be covering a story about Darth Vader testifying against flock cameras at a city council meeting in San Diego, as well as a world record that was set for the fastest motorized clog that has ever been driven. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's go.
Our first story today, a person dressed as Darth Vader appeared during public comments at a San Diego city council meeting to protest the city's use of flock safety license plate cameras. Darth Vader sarcastically claimed, quote, "The Emperor is a fan of flock and that the cameras were useful for tracking rebel scum."
You rebel scum.
San Diego flock cameras are at roughly 500 different locations. They record license plates, vehicle dates, details, times, and locations. Critics have raised privacy concerns, primarily about police misuse of the database and data potentially being used for immigration enforcement. The San Diego police argue that the cameras have helped them solve cases, recover stolen vehicles, and locate missing people. Another day, another flock camera headline. I'm torn on this one because as a generally law-abiding citizen, I feel like I have nothing to hide. However, the more dystopian possibilities of this are hard to get over. I tend to lean more in favor of individual freedom and protection rather than wanting a nanny state that will, quote, take care of all of our problems. The story is an interesting reminder for all of us. If this guy hadn't decided to make a mockery of this council meeting dressed as Darth Vader, he would just be another guy talking about flock cameras and we probably wouldn't care about it and wouldn't talk about it. Maybe the takeaway is occasionally you have to throw a shoe at an elected official, chain yourself to the podium, etc. I'm not advocating that, and especially not something as tangential as throwing a can of soup at a priceless artwork to protest oil drilling or something of that regard, but bad publicity might not be the worst tool to fight against bureaucracy.
Who can take your money?
Who can take your money?
With a twinkle in their eye.
A twinkle in their eye.
Take it all away and give it to some other guy. The government. The government can.
On to our second topic of the day. A Dutch TV host named Klaus van Christum and his team have built a giant drivable version of a traditional Dutch wooden clog. The vehicle used an electric go-kart frame covered by a clog-shaped shell made of polyester and fiberglass. Van Christum drove to 70 miles per hour, setting a Guinness World Record for the fastest motorized clog shoe, and the team got inspiration from Kevin Nix, the British record holder behind the world's fastest motorized garden shed. Welcome to another edition of Why in the are people doing this? This is just a go-kart designed to look like a clog. If it can't be slid on for a day in the factory or gardening or stomping for some clog-based tap dancing, it ain't a goddamn clog if it doesn't fit any of those categories. Guinness World Records, please step into my office. Let's have a chat.
You are a fast mover. Please have a seat right there.
I know you've always kept absurd records. Can we maybe rein in some of what we consider a record? I mean, fastest clog drive that was inspired by the world's fastest garden shed. What are we doing here? Let's get back to the real stuff that people care about, like the longest fingernails or the most spoons stuck to someone's body. And of course, a picture every year of the tallest living man next to the tallest living woman together. Stop rewarding these originality-based assholes and let's get back to spotlighting the real wackos and unicorns in our world.
Am I weird? Yeah, but so what? Everybody's weird.
On to sports. We're going to keep going through our NFL predictions, but we're going to keep this one short and sweet. We have the NFC South today. My order is I have the Bucs in first, the Panthers in second, the Saints in third, and the Falcons in fourth. This division is so painfully mediocre and close together. Tampa is expected to have 8.5 wins, while every other team in the division is at 7.5 wins, so it's really anyone's conference. I expect Mayfield to be cooking this year. It's the last year of his contract. He's heading to free agency. I think he'll play well because of that. The Panthers are improving, but I think last year they jumped a bit ahead of schedule in terms of their trajectory and will slightly regress. And then the Saints and the Falcons are both just ass. I'm going to give the Saints the edge in this one based on Shuck as their quarterback compared to the Tua Penix situation that's currently going on in Atlanta. All right, instead of weather, we're going to do some more miscellaneous categories this week. So today we have the Average Joe OSHA violation of the week.
And you'll be in a world of OSHA violation.
The U.S. Department of Labor has cited a Wisconsin-based food products manufacturer operating as NaturPak after 2 incidents involving industrial kettles releasing hot steam and liquid causing worker deaths and serious injuries. OSHA issued the employer 1 serious citation for the design and usage of the kettles, leading to pressure and thermal burn hazards, as well as a repeat citation for exposing workers to falls to lower levels of the factory, and other serious citation for failing to notify employees working adjacent to permit-related confined spaces. Take care of your workers. That's a gift for you, NaturPak. All right, that has been another edition of Average Joe News Co. Thanks for checking in on us as always. We'll be back the rest of this week with regularly scheduled programming. Hit the music.